Let's open with an AOC More Perfect Union. I feel bad too because I like More Perfect Union. I feel like they do good work. And unfortunately, I know that a lot of people in my audience think that I dislike them because they're not hard enough on Republicans, which is unfortunate because, like, I do think they're not hard enough on Republicans, but at the same time, I still like what they do.
When the blasting started, it went on a couple of months. My
Now AOC, on the other hand,
sister-in-law's ceiling come crashing down.
Nobody from Amazon has bothered to say one word. It was 3 blasts a day, 7 days a week for months.
This is unbelievable.
What happens when you take Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to the heart of the data center revolt?
And they're just trying to say that no one should cover this?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I'm on a Social Security check. I can't afford to do that.
You didn't blow up your ceiling.
No, I didn't.
We wanted to know how voters who feel politically homeless,
and raise your hand if you're electricity.
Fucking politically homeless, man. Jesus Christ. This is what I'm like, politically homeless. So you're in favor of Trump, but you're mad that Trump did the policies that he said he was going to do.
The bill has gone up and your water bill has gone up.
Oh, from the black suburbs of Atlanta,
Are the local politicians supportive or what?
to conservative rural communities.
This is not a party issue, this is a people issue.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter what party you are, it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not to say Democrats aren't also complicit in the big AI bubble boom or whatever, but it's a bit of a party issue too.
How are voters going to respond to a Democratic socialist from New York?
People want to call me woke, whatever. This is about power.
With the Trump administration pushing for more data centers,
the AI race is a big deal. The construction of colossal data centers. We have to get this stuff built.
where does that leave regular people, like Beverly Morris?
Well, I feel trapped because I have no way out.
How is the backlash against a data center boom the key to unlocking America's politics?
We've never been more polarized.
It feels like you can't win an election without coming across like a grinning snake. Well, the thing that I feel, again, and I'm not like far from the first time I've said this, but like the best model we have for somebody doing this bit properly is Mamdani, because Mamdani is really relentless on not attacking Republican New Yorkers, but he's really, 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 really clear on like where the problem is. You know what I mean? Like, you know that he does not like Republicans. It's like the positivity is a rhetorical focus, but it's not being done to obfuscate where the blame belongs.
I just think we got to show up in these places and see these things for ourselves.
Well, do you want to show us there's been some damage to your house?
Demand destruction's part of it to Wubbles, but it's only accounted for like a small percentage, I think, of the total missing amount from the supply shock, you know?
Yeah, sure. Come on.
Yeah.
Pamela Felder purchased her dream home 3 years ago.
So the first initial thing I saw was the crack in my porch. Wow. All the way across.
All was well until explosive blasts started to shake her home earlier this year.
What?
It sounded like someone picked up my house and went boom. A week after that, that's when I started seeing cracks all throughout my house. And I found out they're putting a data center in my backyard.
The 2 million square foot
AOC's like,
They're putting a data center in my backyard.
damn, I don't even know what to say about that. Okay.
The 2 million square foot hyperscale data center is being built less than a mile from Pamela's home.
You can still see where the paint is ripped all the way up my stairs. I noticed the ceiling that looked cracked across there.
My dad worked in construction, so
He did?
so if I look like I'm really sticking my nose
No,
in here,
I don't care.
because
I
I'm
want you
taking
to.
a real look. And your neighbors are experiencing the same thing.
We're all sending letters out to the blasting company.
And what are they saying when they deny it?
They said my house was settling.
Oh, so everyone here's
Every-
house is settling at the same time.
At the same time.
It's actually like a multivariate problem, because on one hand, obviously it's irresponsible for them to be blasting like this, but I assume, I guess. But on the other hand, A lot of American houses really are just built like shit. So it's kind of like a mix. Like, I can tell looking at her house that this is a cheap construction. I mean, no hate to her or whatever. But it's like a really common problem.
Pamela's neighbor also came by and insisted we see a giant sinkhole she said was caused by the blasts.
Okay.
Makes you want to cry. No one's listening. Why a data center? Why now? Why here?
Unprecedented
I'd build
amounts
that
of
up with
money
dirt
are behind the race to build. Meta is investing $600 billion in data center infrastructure through 2028.
Well,
OpenAI has pledged over $400 billion. Even the real estate company responsible for this site just closed a $3.25 billion funding round.
If these tech folks love these data centers so much, put it in your backyard.
That's right.
is there any historical reason why Americans refuse to build with bricks and opt for paper mache instead? Because people in Europe had to build out their population slowly. Like, the population of Germany has, as I learned the other day, not increased that much over the past 80 years. The population of the UK has not increased that much over the past century, relatively. America's population fucking exploded, and we had to build all across a massive, like, continent-spanning reach, which means that shipping bricks out to every corner of the country is a lot less convenient than developing like a craftsman style, use the wood in your area, and then ship out drywall, which is cheap and easy to move around. So a lot of it is just rapid construction. Not that we're building anything anymore, but like there was a boom during which we felt an incentive to very rapidly build across a very large like area of a country. Drywall is a scam. It's selectively useful, but it is true that we overuse it to the point of fucking comedy. Yeah.
Right, that's right. Or
You put it in your backyard.
put it away from people's homes.
This is why we're saying we
It's a little bit unreasonable to plaster the entirety of your house and expect that at no point in the time of you living there will there ever be any settling that causes any hairline fractures across that plaster. Like, that's a little bit insane. Baby F, we okay? It's on YouTube, not on me. Oh, well, someone's mad.
slow the roll on this because they're moving fast. We're just saying pause it so that we can move forward in a more just way.
That's right.
In a fair way.
Yeah, for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you for your...
But far from the black suburbs of Atlanta is much Trumpier country, and the idea of AOC isn't as enthusiastically received.
There's some really extreme liberal views out there.
Before they met
No, the fuck there aren't. Fuck you, piece of shit, stupid fucking...
her, I asked folks what they knew about AOC's politics.
Just from an overall view, very fringe left.
I'm probably a lot more conservative than she is.
How are your politics evolving? And
They're evolving.
I'm not real impressed
They
with
never ask. Again, it's the more perfect union thing. They never ask. They're never like, can you tell me what the conservative view you has is? What do you disagree on? Because like every time, these people are just retards. Like every time, with no exceptions.
the politics on either side.
We first met Beverly Morris and her husband Jeff last year when they showed us how the construction of a 2.5 million square foot Meta data center is contaminating their drinking water, a charge which Meta denies.
Like, you deserve it. I don't know. You voted for this. You literally voted for the people who brag about deregulation. I don't care. Like, you deserve to eat the swill water. Even if we fix this country up, I think we should maintain separate municipal water lines filled with swill water, specifically for conservatives.
This is my cold water pressure in the kitchen.
so you can see the sediment from the data center.
And this is what's in all the pipes, too. They should be responsible for that.
You
not
literally
us.
voted for it.
When we were here last year with them, Meta was still building this data center, but now it's operational.
I worry about using the water for everything.
Yeah.
I don't use the water for
Dude,
cooking.
look at these look at the, like, the people. It's such a blighted fucking way of living, man. You've got to look at this, the fucking above ground pool that's like, Jesus Christ, like 20 feet wide. and this big old home in the middle of nothing, but you're still mowing your lawn even though all of this lawn is unproductive. Like, you're not farming anything, it's just unproductive. And what's your view, your beautiful rural view? Nothing. You get like one clearing, 5 trees, and then a data center. God, it's just so... It's so evil on every level. It's so it's the most wasteful imaginable allocation of resources. I cannot believe...
About using the water for everything.
Yeah.
I don't use the water for cooking anymore. I did for a while, you know. I thought, oh, you know, I've got to use it.
Right.
I wouldn't drink it. I haven't drank the water here in
it should
years.
be. This is my view, but it should be a right for you to be able to turn on your tap and drink what comes out of it.
The Morrises
you don't believe that. You literally don't believe in regulation.
Alone. Other residents also came to us with stories of their contaminated water.
This is the sediment that it's picking up. The cold water pressure everywhere is pretty bad. You cannot take a shower and wash dishes, or take a shower and fill up the horse's water. You just can't.
Our refrigerator broke, our HVAC broke. We have issues with the pool. So anything that's water related, we have issues with. And this is the filters from the filtration system after we pull it out. So.
And you used to change those filters once a year, or?
Yeah.
I think typical people are probably 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And now you're doing it once a month?
Yeah.
But you feel stuck, right? You feel like you can't, even if you wanted to move.
God, what an unbelievably evil woman. Look at this. Think of where she lives. Gee, what a stereotype of a character design here. Look at this. This is crazy. You would no one has ever looked like this and not been insanely racist. This, like, it is never, phrenology has never been so correct.
You can't.
No, not and be able to get the value that we put into our home.
Well, let's keep going down the line here, Connie.
Our fight is in Coweta County. We just had a large parcel of land rezoned for a data center, but we don't know who it is yet.
Southern Belle plantation owner phrenology. You're actually wrong. Not Southern Belle at all. This is like Margaret Thatcher, stiff upper lip, grew up in the countryside but wealthy, thinks herself better than all the farmers and ranchers that she grew up around, but also is too conservative for the city, so she just lives like bitterly in the middle of nowhere, clutching a drink 24/7, hating everything and everyone around her. It's like the exurban, like, city displaced educated conservative. Educated, not in a, I don't mean that as a compliment.
And I'm Tina. I live in Oxford, Georgia, and it's the Amazon data center.
We're not just fighting Facebook or Amazon or any of these data centers. That's not who we're fighting. We're fighting the entire institution that allows it.
No, you're not.
They think people aren't paying attention. They'll go sniffing around, jiggling every door handle to see what county they can push these things through on.
It is necessary. I understand the need for it, but the manner in which they're going about it.
See, look, like, you understand the need for it, do you?
Is not only wrong, it doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make, why would they bother us? I'm rich and I voted for the right people. Couldn't they go find some blacks to inconvenience with their data? Like, it's not uncharitable. It's literally what she believes. I don't know what to say.
I don't blame Amazon. I don't blame those businesses. I blame our government. That's who's supposed to be taking care of me. My commissioner should have been looking after our community. Our governor should be looking after our state, like it goes up.
Our community, our state. Notice how they have no moral opposition to the people doing the bad thing, nor even to the thing being done. What they're mad about is that their community has been taught. Again, like, I genuinely think these people are beneath political consideration. Like, they have the same moral instincts as a wild animal. A wild animal who has no moral objection to, like, you killing another thing, but if you kill them, they get upset. Like, they have no broader moral framework. They are entirely self-interest. Like, it's not even worth, like, they don't believe in a social contract. It's not even worth, like, engaging with them. You just have to politically disempower them. You have to disenfranchise them and then just go about your day. And then you have to hope, like, over a long enough period of time, you can sort of, like, force enough of their children into a public school system that you don't have to deal with them in the future. This is just, like, you just can't work around this. It's civilizationally untenable. It's like the Soviets after Lenin took over, going from like backwater village to backwater village in Siberia, where they still practiced like polygamy or like bride sales or whatever, and they were like, nope, you're all civilized now. Sorry, here's the Communist Manifesto. Here's you know, Russian language booklet or whatever. Like, congratulations, you're Soviet citizens now. And the Soviets did a lot of racism, but in fairness, I too would do a lot of racism against exurban whites. So.
A business is a business, and it's about making business, and they don't care what they're doing to people.
Right.
They don't, and that's a shame, but they're greedy and they don't care.
That's the way it is, yeah.
We appreciate you taking the time to come here about it, because until someone at a national level gets really serious about it, nothing's going to happen.
We should be starting congressional investigations on the effect on these, and figuring out with precision how we protect our water supplies, how we protect your power bills and water bills, and keep people from getting sick.
50 miles away from the Morrises, a group of...
Yeah, I find stuff like this really unconvincing, again, because the only moral problem these people have is that they're being negatively affected. I just really wish that, like, I just do not understand why More Perfect Union, and in this specific case, AOC, are wedded to the idea that they are changing minds here, because they're not. Like, they are going up to Nazis and saying, like, hey, Nazi, I noticed the leopard bit your face. Isn't it bad that it bit your face? And the Nazi's like, yeah, I'm sad that it bit my face, specifically. And then they're, like, pointing at a Jewish ghetto, like, suggestively or something. That's not, like, we're not having real conversations here, you know? You have to talk to these people about what, like, just a couple follow-up questions. So do you think government regulations are a good idea? Like, just anything, you know? Like, how are we going to make it out of this if we don't challenge these people on their ideas? And I'm not exactly a free marketplace of ideas guy or whatever, but it's like I think for the most part, they just have to be, like, socially shamed out of their beliefs. Like, it just has to be, we have to make them feel worse. They have to be made to socially suffer.
Residents successfully pushed for a moratorium on a 95-acre data center project.
Now, wait a minute. Where do I know you from?
I'm a congresswoman from New York.
Oh, come on. Yeah, you my girl. You know,
Thank you. We organized because we know what we want in our community. And they did not anticipate that when they had the Board of Commissioner meeting that hundreds of us were going to show up. They couldn't deny us. They had to stop and say, wait a minute.
Across the country, more than 50 local data center moratoriums.
You don't have to challenge it, you have to redirect it. I stand by the lessons that I learned reading about what happened after the Nazis lost and after the Civil Rights Act was passed, which was that by and large, racists were not, like, convinced, or Nazis, former Nazis, weren't, like, convinced they were wrong. You just have to subject them to so much overwhelming social pressure that they shut up forever until they just die, and they pretend, they spend the rest of their lives pretending that they didn't believe the things they believed, you know? Because of the people in America who opposed the Civil Rights Act, right? You know, a majority of whites, at least at a time, most of them were not committed enough to their racism to make an issue out of it for long afterwards. Like, the average white racist 5 years after the Civil Rights Act was passed was not still beating their chest about it, because they're like, okay, like, they lost, you know? And past a point, they just shut up because, like, why? Because they get shamed out of it, you know? I think that's what you have to do. There's just not that much historical evidence to suggest that you can have, like, mass conservative movements, like mass hysteria, people being convinced out of it. Like they renounce their beliefs, you know? For the most part, you just have to pressure them. And I just don't understand this obsession with, like, coddling the other side. Would you accept that in a post-Nazi Germany or in a like a post-Civil Rights Act America, where you're like, well, we have to reach out to the other side. No, you don't. You have to win. Like the Martin Luther King Jr., PIBA, did not, proceed with his protests and his activism on the assumption that active white racists were going to change their mind, He knew that you can change the mind of like marginal groups, but for the most part, like that you just have to overwhelm the opposition. You have to be louder and more present than them. He was correct on this. It's every successful social movement in history has understood this to some point. From the union activists back in the 1910s and 1920s I guess I would just have to mention like every successful social movement, from the feminists in the 1960s to the suffragettes. Like on every time there's a big social shift, it eventually comes down to a big clash, and the winners, the people with more power, prevail. What about the American Civil War? Well, I would say that was an example of the point that I'm making, because we failed to follow through. The South started the Civil War. The South fired on Fort Sumter. They began the Civil War after secession. They started it in both counts. They started the secession, which was illegal, and then they started the war. And then, after we Americans won, we let them off easy because Lincoln got assassinated and his VP pick was a pussy and a Confederate sympathizer. So, like it seems to me like this is an example of what happens if you don't follow through. We shifted our mindset. We went from you lost, we will put our boot on your neck, to like, well, let's actually like pardon Confederate generals. Let's recognize that they were defending their own country, their own people or whatever. And now we still have Confederate apologia 150 fucking years later. So, to me, it's you have to commit.
Have already been enacted, with dozens more proposed or under consideration across the U.S. But this patchwork approach has left a lot of communities vulnerable.
We're in a neighborhood that's in unincorporated Clayton County, but just over the fence line is the city limits of Forest Park, and that is where the facility is being built.
Wow, okay, all right. So the county has a moratorium,
yes,
but the city does not?
Correct.
Wow. And so the city, even though the city is inside the county, correct, it's not covered. Hoo-wee. Yes. All right, talk about a loophole.
Yes.
For now, the local fight continues.
The community has said we want walkability in our neighborhoods, we want clean air, we want clean water, but we have to keep fighting. It's like a continual fight. It's like we're surrounded by piranhas, that just keep trying to pick at us, but we just keep fighting.
In March 2026, AOC and Senator Bernie Sanders introduced legislation at the federal level called the AI Data Center Moratorium Act. It's both a response to growing opposition to these facilities, but also about the need to establish a nationwide policy about their construction.
I don't think there's any real common ground to find with standard issue conservatives, TBH. Not really, no. Conservatives since Trump have abandoned any rational, real-world political projects that can even be like superficially agreed with. They don't care about anything good. There is no political project they are working towards that that's even like remotely tied to a real world morally positive outcome. They don't believe in any of it. Like, we're talking about an administration that is explicitly pro-pedophilia. It's really, really, really difficult to find a moral issue they're not on the wrong on. Like, genuinely, can you think of one? Can you think of a cause that conservatives have fought for in America over the past 10 years that was morally good? I can think of one, and it was Melania Trump's opposition to deepfakes and revenge porn. That's the one that I can think of. I think, like, on that one, because she pushed for it, and Trump agreed with it, and I agree, yeah. I think those are bad. That's the only thing I can really think of. And even that was just because, like, it seemed it happened to her. It was more of, like, a personal thing. But, take a win where you take a win, right? I agree that was bad. Right to repair? Republicans are anti-right to repair. Maybe ending daylight savings time? We're really in the margins, huh?
Our responsibility is...
Republican voters are pro-right to repair? Yes, and in the same way Republican voters are anti-pedophilia or, like, pro-lowering the national debt. And then they vote for people who oppose that. So it doesn't really matter what they want.
to take care of people. And that is what we're here to do today.
What you're proposing is a national moratorium.
Yes, and it's, you know, it's not the same thing as an outright ban, but it's saying we need to meet some basic protections for people. We need some guarantees on your water.
It's also nebulous too, you know? Like, again, it's like, what are we talking about, you know?
On the air that you breathe, we need to make sure that the jobs that stand to be wiped out, that there's a plan for that, and we're not just leaving people, you know, out to dry. And we need to just have some really basic common sense protections for people.
The bill would require a building moratorium until the federal government passes laws mitigating job losses, preventing utility rate hikes, and establishing environmental protections, among other things. The question is whether this is enough to persuade conservative voters to support someone far across the political aisle.
That's not a question. The answer is no. They will not vote for AOC because of this. They will not. It's not a question. They will not do it. Republicans will not change their vote because of this. It's not a question. It's not an open question. No one serious believes this.
Do you think that people here could get behind someone like AOC and her ideas for AI and data centers?
I think they would get behind anyone who was going to fight for their rights to clean water and to live their life without dealing with this.
Now the tide on this is starting to turn. The politics on this, because everyday people are starting to catch on to what's going on.
She may be on the left, but on the data center issue, seems more sensitive.
Will you vote for her over, would you vote for her over a Republican? Yes, no. Oh, no? Okay, then never mind. This whole thing was a waste. Literally does not matter what positions you hold if you vote for the people who hold opposite positions. I'm going to be soy for a sec. I feel like Vosh has set a tone to make the average viewer hate AOC. Unfortunately, like, people in chat are really difficult at understanding moderation. So, like, maybe there are more people in chat, like, people in chat who might, like, I don't know, who might dislike AOC more than they dislike a regular Zionist Lib Democrat or whatever. The truth is, I'm just insanely disappointed by AOC because I feel like she's been captured in his borderline controlled opposition. It is an obvious objective fact that the Democratic Party has been captured by oppositional interests and is not really interested itself in representing its constituents. And she was literally a person who campaigned on fighting back against that, and she has not done that. So, like, in that respect, I think that she's been a huge letdown. But obviously, in terms of, like, her policy position, she's much better than, you know, fucking Randy Fine, whatever. AOC's Bernie with less spot. Well, no, Bernie does the same thing. Bernie does the exact same thing. They both do the exact same thing that I disagree with. They both do the exact same thing, which is that they're really, really, really unwilling to direct antagonism against the Democratic Party. They just don't do it. Which, you know, if you can't apply any internal pressure, I don't really know what the point is. Yeah, it is true that, yeah, the reason I hold AOC more in contempt for it is because AOC is literally, like, my age, could potentially be a force in politics for the next 50 years. But she's still keeping it, you know, keeping it quiet. Whereas Bernie, if anything, feels like he's gotten less oppositional with time, but he's also ancient, so whatever. Like, yeah, he should be able to retire. How would she even be able to fight back? Literally just draw again, like, this isn't an abstract question or whatever. We don't need to strategize. She should just point out the bad things in the Democratic Party. If she wants a certain set of outcomes, there is no way through those, like, to those outcomes without changing the Democratic Party. And it is not sufficient merely to do this, like, banal, placid, dickless, well, I'll support the progressives. Maybe she'll support the progressives in the primaries. It's not like she's done that consistently. But that's not enough. Like, you need internal opposition. Like, literally, what is the point of having progressives in Congress if they're not pushing for their case against the people who oppose them internally, you know? AOC could be the kingmaker people keep saying Hassan is. Yeah, AOC is one of the most popular politicians in the country. She's super, super, super popular with, like, liberal Democrats. She could be leveraging that much better. Okay, but to be fair, her support requires candidates be seasoned. She's made this clear. Man, like, why? Plattner is better than Mills. Mills dropped out. She can't endorse Plattner even then? Did you see her meek non-endorsement of Plattner the other day? Yeah, like shit like this. Really? I, of course, am deeply supportive of a Democratic majority, and we're going to do what we can to secure that, and the people have made their decision, we'll move forward. That's literally, this is a Schumer comment. Well, we want a Senate majority, so we'll go ahead with the choice made by... Like, really? Really? That's literally what Schumer said.
Congresswoman, is it okay? Like, quick question. I remember you said this week that the allegations against Graham Plattner were hard to stomach. What are your thoughts that now he's the official Democratic nominee? And like, is it still hard to stomach? And what decisions do women have to make?
I think this is an election for the people of Maine. I, of course, am deeply supportive of a Democratic majority, and we're going to do what we can to secure that. And the people of Maine have made their decision, and we'll move forward.
Your thoughts on these? Like, literally, what is the point of her being half-hearted here? She is a very popular politician. She's not at risk of being primaried. Plattner won his primary. There's no one else. It's only Plattner versus Collins, and Plattner needs to win if we're going to get a Senate majority or even hold a 50-50. There's literally no reason for her to not... Like, what is she worried about? Her reputation? She really thinks that you really think AOC, whose reputation has already been dragged through the mud amongst conservatives, is going to get, like, what? Like, primaried because she supports Plattner, the Democratic Senate candidate in Maine? Like, no. There's no reason to withhold here unless she's beholden to the interests of the moderates in the party. She's running for president in the near future, dude. It's so obvious. Okay, so do you want the progressives in the Democratic Party to stay silent about their progressive views and allegiances so that they can make a cynical run for like a moderate run for president in the future? You want to see them do the shit that Gavin Newsom did, where he's like, maybe if I do a pro-Republican podcast, I can win the moderate vote or whatever. Like are those the progressives we want? Like, we want moderate progressives? Like, we want progressives in name only? No, you were begging the question of why she's doing this, and it's obvious she's doing 2 + 2 = water damage. I don't know what you're talking about totally, John.
And genuinely concerned about people, and that's refreshing to hear.
How do you wrap your head around addressing this at the national level?
I've always loved you, Vosh, supported you, but I'm done listening to you tell people their only option is voting. What the fuck are you I can't keep up with chat, man. You people are like 7 levels ahead of me.
We need to put people first, and we need those protections to be ironclad and guaranteed before we can have a conversation about what does and doesn't get constructed.
Do politicians ever actually hide their power level in order to court the centrist vote? Or are they actually sellouts who believe centrist stuff? I would argue that a person who is a sellout is somebody who's hiding their power level in order to court the centrist vote to a large extent. But, whatever. Are you asking, like, do politicians lie? Yes, all the time.
Do you think that this is an issue that could maybe pull our country together?
I don't know if it's going to pull our government all together. It's pulling the people together.
Oh, yeah.
If there's a chance that anything can be done, I feel like she is going to be the one to do it.
Days later, AOC showed Beverly's water samples to an EPA water official, testifying before her committee.
I have a jar right here. The only difference between the clean water and this was that data center. I have another one as well. This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center. And I think both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable.
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whatever type of construction it is a priority to ensure that water quality standards established by EPA are being...
It's going to be so cool when this makes it to the fucking Senate floor, and it's going to get like 2/3 of Democrat votes and 0 Republican votes, and then we're all like, I don't know, we're all going to pretend this is a bipartisan project or whatever.
Matt.
There are a lot of people with a lot of money who don't want to see this thing slow down. They're like, the train's moving fast. We can't afford to stop.
It has already. The video came out after. No. It's still on the floor of one of the Senate subcommittees. It hasn't been introduced for a general vote.
Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out later.
I've been in a lot of political fights that have seemed insurmountable before. that we've won.
1, 2, 3.
No data center.
I just don't believe in impossible. I just think that, you know, if you think something's impossible, it's just that's an imagination problem.
We're going to keep following this story. If you have any tips for us, please
We sat AOC down with Republican voters. Can she win them over? No. That is the answer. You have to accept it. You have to accept that that is the answer. I feel like the reason More Perfect Union and other people like liberals, I know More Perfect Union aren't liberals in the traditional sense. They don't, I think they're still liberals, like social democrats or whatever. But the reason they keep pretending this is an open question is because they can't handle the implications of the answer. You know what I mean? Can she win them over? If they keep asking this question, that means they have to, they get to postpone answering it. And when the answer inevitably is no, then you have a really tough follow-up question, which is, what do you do then? Like, what do you do with the fact that most Republican voters are just unreachable and completely detached from reality and nothing can win them over, and they will like march to suicide before they will change who they vote for? That's the tough question, right? But if we keep disingenuously asking this part of the question, we get to avoid answering the tough one. Plattner can, but it takes vilifying the wealthy. Well, Plattner is willing to be like openly confrontational. Plattner says based shit, you know? Yeah, he acts like a chud, thinks like a woke. Fucking AOC acts like a woke, thinks like a Schumer. I don't know what you want from me.